Hello, and welcome back to the grind. Grinding on the Hillman, 1963 Hillman. So this time around, what were we doing? Back on welding, more welding. Weld. So I finished up all around the back end here. So this nice and solid. The whole rear end of it nicely done. And I'm actually quite happy with the results. It came out nicely. That was all, from here down was all rusted off of it. So some of it was guesswork, like down to this was guessing how it all went together, and I had to build up was it this time that I built the framework for the gas tank to sit in? I think so. I don't remember. But the gas tank sits in there. And this side here is closed in now. So we're slowly getting it closed off. There's some more work to do underneath here. A little bit right in underneath there, but that'll get to next time around. Have to do some more work in around the door jambs here. But these are all pretty small compared to what I've done now. So I'll work on getting them all finished up. And now also on this wheel arch here needs some help in a few spots, plus down at the bottom there and by the back door there. So anyway, did pretty good this time, and some of the welding turned out really nice. So I'm quite happy with the progress. So stick around to see everything we did, and make sure you like, subscribe, and tell all your friends. Okay, bye for now. There, I got a dust cover for it. That doesn't look it's not certainly not stock. Here's a stock one over here, which is kind of I'll clean that up one of these days. But the went to Canadian Tire, and for like I think $6 off the shelf, this was one that fit a Ford. It was a little bit, tiny bit too big to go into this, so I've just put it on the lathe and shaved off a little bit from the outside diameter OD of it, and don't you know, it just fits right on there like a glove. There, so that's that problem solved. I'll have to now. Can I get it back off again? I think so. One of these days, whenever I want to get this wheel off to do. Anyway, here we are, back in another week, eh? And I think I'll go and might go and get some welding done at the back here. Like it needs welding here a little bit, like not much up here, like not very much up here. I'm not going to get too deep into this fender here. Down here it needs to be fixed, and that mudguard thing has to be put on there, which is okay. But I'm not going to get too deep into that. I'm going to just see if I can get the back around the all around the back there done, to make it so that it's a finished underneath the gas tank, and then I can put gas in the gas tank and stuff like that. Anyway, that's coming up. So I saved myself, well, here I am, saved myself a couple of clues. I'm at the back of the car. Gas tanks right in here, well, right there, right? So I saved myself a couple of clues. This comes down to here, which is underneath the gas tank. I'll get some light over here maybe. Boy, oh boy, it's hard to get light sometimes where you want it, hey? So you see the gas tank comes down to here, then this goes across and then over to here and up to meet the wall here. Just it comes about an inch out so it won't get interfered with this. So out to here and then straight down. Then I also have this other major piece right here. How do you like that, eh? That's all that's left over for a clue. But it goes like that there, and that's where the gas tank comes out that wall there. So, don't know how I'm going to make that all work nicely, because there's not room. Like if I take this has to come out of there to be able to get the gas tank into there. So, that's going to be a bit, I don't really want to put heat on that because it's not, there's too much soldering down here. Oh, well, let me think about that for a bit. Anyhow, I'll start building this stuff, and if I have to, I can shorten this up a bit this way. Interesting. Okay, well, I think that fixture there has to come out of there. By hook or by crook. Geez, I hate to put heat to that. Oh well, we'll see. See what I can do. Anyway, that's sort of how it goes. So the first thing I have to do is, I think I'll model a piece of metal to come down here and straight across the bottom here. I won't worry about that seam too much because it's just waiting to get rusted again. And then go up this side. And we'll see where we go from there. Then I might make it so this comes out a bit. Maybe I'll just change the design a bit, make it so this comes out a bit like this and then down, and then I'll be able to have room to shoehorn that thing in there. We'll see. Okay, so first things first, I think is this piece here, which is going to be interesting to do because it's got a, then it's also have to have where there's no clues at all about where this goes, but I think we're going to make it just sort of a straight down thing to here and then that way, because that'll have to be the inner fender plus the outer fender made for that, but that's a little bit later. Anyhow, we'll get there. Yeah, I don't know, I forget who said it, but I think it was Daniel. Was it you, Daniel, that said this could be Lakeview Motors? And I think you're right, because I can sort of see an A there. So there'd be LA, Lakeview Motors Limited in Moncton, New Brunswick. Wonder if they still exist. I'll check. Yeah, so did any of you guys see where I put this camera down? I've been looking for it for 10 minutes. Oh, here it is right now. Anyhow, this is cool enough to touch now. I've been looking for the camera for so long. That little piece in there, I put a little crease in here to simulate this seam. You know, just sort of it looks right-ish. Now I'll build a piece in here. I guess I decided that the best way to tackle this is to get this piece done to down here somewhere. Not really sure how far that should dip. I think right down to here, eh? That'll be a good spot to get to. So I'll build a piece, goes in here, and then I'll make this, like I'll just build a straight piece. This kind of drops off like that and down. So I'll build a piece to go in across here, and then I'll make this piece that goes into here for the channel. And then I'll make this to go over the top of it. Did I look in the right place there? Anyhow, that'll be the plan. So this piece here goes in, I think about this deep. And then I'll put what'll I do? Put a little bit of a flange going that way on it. We'll just see. Now I made like just a little piece here, and it fits reasonably well. It still has to do some fitting over here, but I'll make this piece here, like it's got to come down to here, and meet sort of at a zero here, right? So that'll come down and meet at zero for that flange business. So I'll see what I can do about that. Okay, there. I don't know, not very good light, but a little bit shadowy someplace, right? Over there, can you see? Right here. So I made this piece here and they just tacked it on there. Now I've got to cut this off here, weld that on there, trim it off, and that'll be this piece. Ready to go in, I think. Yeah, there. I've welded that off the car, and now it'll go up into here like that idea, and that'll be, then I can start working on this next bit, which would be over the inside bit over there, and I've got a defining spot for the bottom of it here. So figure that out. Okay? Yeah, there, that's in there. Now I haven't got this finished yet, but I'll finish that when I take this wall off here, which is going to be right away. There's the center mark right there. So I'll actually do it like they have it here, with it coming down to the center and put a flange across. And I think that might be the easiest way to join it all up. And it might look okay. Yeah, so here's another clue for me. This defines the height at the back. This defines the height at the front. That's the middle of it right there. And I think that comes back to here. That something around point right in here. So I think I could safely take the tank out now, and I'll be able to build underneath everything there. Yeah, looks like it's all going to work out. Yeah, there, tank's back out of it, and that's not bad welding over there. Everything came right through, so it's all very good penetration up through that. Well, that'll be good. Okay, now tomorrow I'll get after this stuff in here. See how that makes out. Anyhow, that's my favorite word today. See you tomorrow. Bye now. Okay, back for another day of Hillman. 1963 Hillman, right? And what did I get? Yesterday I got the start done over here of this bottom inside fender, right? Now I've got my little laser thing set up there, and it's on an angle so that I can you see the red line? So it starts here at that, and the angle goes across to there, and that would be the same angle is on the bottom of this part here. Wait, I'll get it up here. See how that angle just sort of follows the bottom of that curve there? So that's how deep I want to make these pieces. There. So this piece here, which is kind of a funny shaped thing, got to come down to here to the bottom and then go flat across. Well, not flat, it'll go at that angle across there. So I'll cut this piece. I'll make a piece for back here and make it so that it fits this angle, and it fits this angle, and hooks onto over here. Then I can go and use that for a basis to construct the rest of this stuff. So what I might do is just tack it in here, tack in a piece in here, and then start building on it. I imagine I can make, if I get the angle right, I can make that one piece out to here and then connect it to go that way. I'll see. Yeah, so there's first piece of the puzzle to go in. Now I make a piece to go across here, and then a piece to go across here, and I'll get it all to the right length in there so that it's flat across here. See how that works out. So first off, I'll make a piece to go here and perhaps this way, right? Because I can do that just with that angle. Then there's no seam here. And I'll see if I can do some sort of a flange on here and just plug weld it on that. We'll just see. Think about this a bit. Yeah, I think I have enough pairs of pliers in there. So that piece, I'm going to like I've got a, what do you call that? Plug weld in there. Spot weld, plug weld, whatever you want to call it. Then this flange here is sitting flat, and I'll, what should I do? Should I make some holes there for plug welds before I put it on? I guess I can make the holes anytime if I want to. Now, and then I have to get a piece across the bottom here and sort of going up that way. And this is have to have a flange sitting down this way. Yeah. That's where the flange was. Maybe it goes right to there. Yeah, I think it sort of goes right across that way. I'll just see. I'll put a line up along that. After I get this welded on, I'll put a straight edge along and see where it comes to here. Then we'll know where the flange goes. Okay, now, whoops, there, try that again. Starting to come along. So I'm committed to it, so I welded across the top here. These pieces here, that and that, I just, can't really see back here, can you? But I just did a lap weld on them. And that way they, you don't have to worry about blowing through so much. And in fact, I did blow through a couple of spots up there, but fixed them up. This part here, I still have to figure out how I'm going to make that all meet together there. That'll be a challenge of some sort. But I imagine that we'll figure it out. So now I'll take a piece of floor. See, now I've got to make the floor go bendy up like that. In that corner. Flat to here, and then bendy up in that corner. Wonder if I got too fancy on that and I should have kept it straight, eh? But, oh well. We'll just see what I come up with. I think I can make that happen with a little bit of work. So I built this piece here. Now, how did I do it, right? There you go. Goes in like that. And that flange, to make it fit on there, what I did was I cut this piece out on the arc, and then I just clamped it in there with a bunch of clamps, and then I took another, just a half-inch piece of, or like, what's that, 5/8 inch of piece of metal, bent it around the shape I wanted on this part over here, knock everything over, bent it on this part here, and then I tack welded it on, then finish welded it off the car. Then, now I've got all the holes in it there. I'm gonna punch it onto there, and punch it onto there, and then that'll be that part done. Cool. So, slowly coming along. Then once I get this piece in here, I'm gonna put the tank in. Oh, geez, everything's on the floor. Put the tank in and make sure it fits okay. Yeah, there's the tank, and it's, well, it should be up about like that somewhere. Yeah, just about right there. So lots of room in a bit like that. Yeah, so that'll work. That'll be okay. Everything is above the lower level here, but this, when I get this part here built, I'll have to be careful and make sure I have it at the right height. Okay. Yeah, there now, it's coming along. I might have to put some holes. Oh, that's hot. Anyway, this needs a hole right about here for the gas pipe thing to go through. Oh, right about here for the gas pipe thing to go through. And we don't know how that's going to fit in there yet, but we'll give it a try. And so, but the box is pretty near done for inside part anyhow. Have to put floor out to here, and I'll do it sort of in, and then it's got to be curved around here. So that will require putting the old piece on there to see how much floor there is there. Anyway, that's coming along quite nicely. Now I'll fix that up after I've decided that it's the easiest way and the best way is just to, I'll put a piece in this angle and connect it to there, so that'll be straight down, and I'll put a piece in that angle over there, and that'll be straight down, and that'll be all together then. So it'll be good. I drilled a hole where for the fuel spout to go through. We hope that'll be fairly close to the right spot. If it's in the wrong spot, we'll make amends. And then now I've got to figure out this bottom piece somehow or other. There, now I put on the base of this stuff here just so I'd have a clue of where things go. I think this has to be about in like that. About like that maybe. And So I'll measure from here. I'll make this piece here from here to here and just slide it into the bottom of that. Then I'll make another piece that goes from here to here and cover it in there. And that should be it. I hope. Any point anywhere? Can you see that? Anyhow, I'll measure it up and get a couple of pieces of metal in there and see what happens. There are a couple of pieces made. I haven't got them welded in. I'll do that tomorrow. It's quitting time now. But I just made them to fit. And I'm getting pretty good with the plasma cutter. Made a nice curve. Then this has got that hook on it, so it'll sit on top of that one and drop down to the same level. And this one got the flange at the end, and it's got that hoop on there so that it'll sit on that one and drop down to the right level. So they go on tomorrow. I'll just leave them right here. And we're done for the day. So see you tomorrow. Day, and look what the day brought out here. And it's just like a blizzard out. I went to town. A little bit of footage there earlier, or somewhere, a little bit of footage of going to town behind a snowplow. And it was blustery is a good word. Anyway. Yeah. Poor day to be on the road, hey? Tough day on mailboxes and garbage cans. But it's a good thing those guys are out there, because otherwise I wouldn't be. Anyway, there you go. Anyway, back to finish up the welding. Well, carry on the welding back there and never ever be finished, right? To go on there. And so what I'll do is hook you up here. You're looking at the right spot there? Yeah, so this panel here, I have to make sort of a copy of that to fit in over the end here, and a copy of this part. And there's a seam right here, so I'll just make it to there and put a flange in it and see what I can come up with. Anyhow, but first to take that off of there, right? Oh, that was easy. That one came off. This way. I guess that's why they call it tacked on, right? This one's a little bit tougher. Tacked on a little bit better. So now I'll have a good look at to see how these things fit in here. Don't want to lose my model pieces, because I'll have to invert them from the other side. So now this one here, I've got all the plug weld holes put in there, and it'll sit right on there like that. Then this one will sit right on here like that, that there, and that'll make it so that it all comes together. So I got to put some plug weld holes right up in there. Okay, I'll do that. I'll be back. Yeah, so don't know what you can see here very well, but I'm going to get some pliers on here. First off, these ones. So I want it to hang just right at the that has to come up a tiny bit. Oops, not that end. This end. Like that idea. Many hands make much work, right? Yeah, I guess that's about right. And this has to come up just a bit there. But if I plug a couple of those in first, that'd be good. Then I'll worry about this one. Can't really see what's going on there. Hang on, we'll take a look. Get around here. Yeah, I forgot to put plug holes along that, so I did that. Now I'll weld it up. Oh, here it is. So I'll just put these ones in first and then I'll squeeze that down on that. Ah, there. You see any of that? So now here, see that just doesn't, I'll grind that down so it's even. And that'll make a nice smooth flow along there. And then I'll worry about that back corner after, but for now I should see if the gas tank drops back in there, hey? Maybe I'll do that. Hang on. Yeah, there. The gas tank drops right in there. And the, I don't know, can you enough light here to see? But there's where the thing comes out, right? Okay. Now we'll see if I've learned anything from watching Fitzy all that time. So this piece here, I'll make it in like 3 pieces. I'll make a piece from here and right along to there with a flange at the bottom. And then I'll put this crown, like it's got a crown on it, and it's got a bit of a curve to it too. So I'll put that into it so it fits right to that corner there, that seam. Then I'll do the same as I did over there with for here. I'll put the outside seam onto the metal and make it so it fits nice. Then I'll also put the outside seam on here, make it so it fits nice. Then I'll worry about that piece. So anyhow, see what I can come up with here. Yeah, there's kind of the idea. I took it to the shrinker and stretcher. So the seam will go on that black line there. I need to do a little bit more bend here, and then I'll go on the anvil and just make this top end bend the right way. Then I'll do a little bit of wheeling on it to get the crown into it. It's got to have a tiny bit of crown in it. So we'll just carry on working on it. There, I've got this thing hung up here. So I fitted it onto here, and then I just put a little piece of metal down here for a flange, and now I'll weld it on there and on the inside, and then clean it up, make it look like real. Time for some wheel fun here, eh? So this is just from Harbor Freight or from Princess's Auto here, and it's a mini or a small type of English wheel. So I'll just wheel up a bit here and see what happens. Get you set up here, you can watch a bit. Is that going the right way? Yeah, kind of. A little bit of a tilt there. How do I get that straightened out? How's that? I wonder if I can zoom it in. Maybe I can. Excuse my hands. Now I gotta get you over here. Right, there we are. So, I don't need much of a crown. And I've got a fairly low taper on that thing. So I'll just put it in here and we'll tighten it up. And so you want the crown to go this way, so you put the piece that's crowning it down. Yeah, there, it's got a bit of a crown in it. Now I'll just put it up against the old one and see how it, see if it matches, or if it's too much. If it's too much, you're going to hammer it back out of it. But what that does is it stretches the metal in the middle here. Hang on, I'll just check it out and I'll show you. Yeah, pretty near exactly the same crown. So now I've left this a little bit on the long side, and what I'll do is I better punch some holes along here and punch some holes along there for plug welds, and then we'll get this, like on here it's going to be cut and butt, and then where that seam is, I'll figure that out on the next piece. I'll just put one single I don't know what I'll do yet. We'll figure it out. Yeah, there, I'll just cut that off, and along that line there I'll put a couple of tack welds on it just to hold it together, like one here, one here, one here, and then that'll give me a guide to go to. A little bit of a gap right there, but I can be careful with that. This one here, it actually sort of lines right up by accident, and underneath, let me have a look underneath. Yeah, it looks like that's all coming up fairly tight to it. So that'll be a finished product when I'm done. Got to do that. Got to remember to do this corner. I always leave little things hanging, hey, which is bad habit, but we'll fix that. What you could do here is just push one up with a self tapper, and that'll pull it together, and then you can go and weld it together. Pull the self tapper out. So, but first I'll get this welded along here, and that'll be welded along here, and that'll be good. Yeah, so I had to go get another blade for the zip saw. Anyway, now this here is okay. So you got to go at like a 45-degree angle to it, if you can. Maybe like that, eh? Got to find my hammer. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll just push that in so it's tight on there. And give it a bit of a weld. Where's my... Now I'll cut along there. Yeah, that's all in there now, and this is a good seam. A little bit wide gap right here, but I'll fix that up. Now it's a matter of getting that in there, welded in without shrinking it too much, eh? So I'll do that on the, like the slow method. I'll show you a bit of it. So you go along, just put a dab here, put a dab here, put a dab. Every inch or so you just put a dab down, and then let it cool off to hand touch, then come back and do it again. That takes a while, but it gets done without too much shrinking. Like sometimes the stuff shrinks all over the place, eh? Yeah, a couple of spots where I'm blowing through, but you got to be patient with them too, and just come back to them when it's cool. But for the most part, it's coming along all right. So I'm on about the third or fourth, and for every time I do a new dot, then I started on the old dot and move it this way. Sort of started on the old dot, move it this way, and that will make it so that it absorbs more heat, and you get less blow through that way. Anyway, I'll just keep on going. Yeah, there. Oh, excuse me. Got a bit of a burn through here that I'm gonna get that all ground off and then have a look at it. But for the most part, it's all right. A little bit, you can see it shrunk in a little bit there. But that, as long as it shrinks in, I'm happy, because I just put a bit of body fill over it, and well, it needs that Evercoat stuff, metal to metal, and then the body putty over the top of that. So anyway, it'll all look pretty good at the end of it. A little bit of grinding now. New wheel. Yeah, so this part here is pretty flat. This part here, it sinks in. This part here is pretty flat. So I could go and pound that out, or just let it be, and it'll, like as long as it's sunk in, it's easy to fill in with body filler. And it's not a great deal. So that'll make it easy to make it look smooth. Now I'll see if I can fix this hole up, and then I'll do the plug welds along here. Yeah, I'm doing these plug welds here now, and that's as far. I couldn't reach any farther in with the wrench here. So I put a self-tapper in this far one, and that brings that one in, and then when I pull that out, it should be close enough, I think. Yeah, that worked fine, and I guess this, I'll have to fill that hole somehow. Maybe I'll make a little thing to go across here somehow, but later. See the red up next to it there. Upside down welding, my favorite thing, but it seems to be coming along all right. Now this back corner, so this piece here, this is the outer wall, this is the inner wall. This comes sort of straight down here and then flanges out to meet that, wherever I put that piece of metal, it goes down here. And it goes over to this, like there's a gap there, I think it's supposed to be intentional, but then this is supposed to meet up here. And then what I'll do, I think, is I'll just cap this off in here if I can, so that it's, you know, finished on the inside, and then I'll put the outside piece on somehow or other. See what I can do. Anyway, I'll cut a piece of metal to fit into that little corner there, and that'll finish it off, I hope. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go and I welded that in there, and then where's my piece? Oh, way down to the floor, as always. So it'll go on here. There's some stuff in the way there, but it'll slide into the right position and be okay to weld on there, I thought. So that's a good support for it. And then I'll build something over, where am I, over here. I'll build something here to sort of cap that off and fill it in. And that'll be enclosed, because up above here is, in there is the trunk. Anyway, or the boot, as a British car has. Anyhow, that's enough for today. I'll come back tomorrow. Then I put a flange on it and did a bit of a curve on the shrinker down here, and then welded it in. It's got this seam coming down here. It's not very straight, but I'll fix that up a bit later with, somehow or other we'll get that fixed up and make it look okay. Then I've done the slow weld across here. Well, not slow, but waiting for that to cool down before I do any more, because that'll keep it from shrinking too badly or warping too bad. And I want to pull this out a bit that way and out and in to make that all come together here at the bottom. See how that works out. See if I can get one weld in there with that at that, about there. See what happens. Yeah, there we go. That's in there now, and it's got, like, it's about this far out, which is about where I want it. That just barely hides underneath this. I think there was on the original there was a little bit of an indent out to come around that thing. So I'll likely make it. See how this has got that indent on it? I'll make another one with an indent on there, just to come around that. Whoop, there, I guess I ground through that. Anyway, we'll, and then, oh yeah, I promised I would fix this, so I did. A pretty ugly fix, but it's fixed. Anyhow, that wheel weld looks all right. I still need to do that little bit right there. Maybe I'll just put it up and do that right now, so it's done. Yeah, there, it actually turned out all right, that corner there. Now there's still a little bit of a gap right there where my finger is. You can't really see it, but yeah, you see that gap in there? Got to fill that somehow or other. I don't know how yet, because it's in a really awkward spot, eh? Anyway, that's, maybe I can get it from the inside. Don't know. I'll give it a try. And then the gas line goes here, like that, out of the tank. And this is, that corner is done. That's all. That'll be nice when I get it done. Isn't that something? It really shrunk here, but there's nothing like that's a long pan, a wide panel, and not much you can do about that. Well, yeah, there is, but you can cut it out and do it again, but you get the same result. And then I'll have to make this seam here somehow or other. We'll think about that. And then finish up this, but that's after this side here. This side here, there's a headlight right there. So I'll make the same, like it's not the same on this side because there's no gas tank, but that's where the trunk comes out to, or the trunk comes out to here, and then it's double walled down in here, or strength, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, so I'll make a piece. I'll make this, that. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll work on that tomorrow. It's quitting time today. I'll think about this overnight. It's good to think about things overnight. And then I have to, like, this is at the right height here, so I have to bring it over to this height, same height here. Yeah, that's about right. We'll just see. Okay, that's all for today. See you tomorrow. Yeah, I'm back at it here. Now, this piece that goes, first off, this part, the inner part, it has to come down that far. Like, it's got to be from this body line here, 21 centimeters down to there. at this end here, it comes up like this, eh? This end is correct. It's from the body line, well, what used to be a body line there. Don't know what I'll do about that, because it's right on a seam and everything. I'll just have to use filler on that, I think. From that body line right here, about, to here should be 18 centimeters, which is about what it is. I'll double check that. So I need to cut this off here, then run a piece of metal, like I just stuck that in there. That's, you know, just a little piece that I put in there just to fill in where this will come down to, right? Then, so I need a piece of metal that goes from here to here, approximately, and then I need to have a flange on it going inward for, oh, I don't know how long. Maybe I'll just make a normal size flange. And then this part here that's on the inside has to sort of come down to meet it, which I can do afterwards. After the fact, I'll just make it so it joins together there. Then I can build this outside piece for it. Same as on the other side was, right? Okay, I'll see what I can come up with. Yeah, so I made a hockey stick, right? And I'll put that, it'll go, like I didn't do it quite right because I got this angle at this end. I have to fill in that little angular thing there. But otherwise it'll sort of sit like that all the way along there. And even flanges around the corner here that far. So I'll just put that on. And that'll be good. Okay, I'll show you when I get it on there. Yeah, so there's that inner fender done. Now, I just knocked the heads off of all those welds there. And I'll put it up. I'm going to paint this right now because it'll never see the light of day again after today. And then I'll put it up and I'll paint the inside in between these two panels in here, right up there. And then I'll make a join across there. Then I'll make this outer panel. All up, oops, wet paint. Anyway, this inside panel here, I think I'll do the outside first, and then I won't ruin that edge there, so I can plug weld to it. And I'll just put a bit more of a edge along here. This part here, I might be able to make the outside piece come right to the middle here, right to there. That might work. And then this part here I'll join up somehow later. But first off, I got to make this part to about here where the seam is, and then I'll worry about this part here. Where am I pointing? Right? First I'll make this part here to where the seam is right there. Then I'll make this part over here. So anyway, that's painted up there, and that'll work all right. Well, it won't look anything because nobody will ever see it once I get it closed in, right? Okay, I'll work on making this outside piece now to go along there. Okay, more plasma cutting. See how this works out. Well, I gotta put my gloves on. There they are. Found a glove. Just some dirt, that makes that happen. when it goes wonky like that, it's just when it hits that little, I don't know, can you see that little patch of rust there? Little patch of rust there, and it makes it go wonky. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so, where am I? Can you see this? Yeah. So I've got it around, and I did the shrinker on here to make this curve, and that sort of just fits on there nice. There's another, like I don't know what's going on there. I'll have to clean that up and see what it is. But it's not, it's mission creep. Don't want to be up there, I want to be down here. So what I'll do now is, I've got that clamped on there. So I'll make a piece in here that will be the, to weld onto here. Can you see that? It's shadowed. To weld onto here, so that then I have backing for that, and that's how far it'll push back. And then the flange will keep it up on the rest of the way, and that'll look pretty good when I get that done. Okay, I'll keep on going. Then I'll do the cut and butt above the top here. Now, plug weld holes all the way along here with the plug weld hole tool. That's not going to work. I'm going to need two hands. What'll I do? Hang on. Put you over here in the third hand, right? Is that looking around the right spot? Yeah, pretty close. Okay. So this thing here is just a pneumatic tool. Whoops, that's the wrong one. That's the crimper. I want the cutter. Sometimes I'm just not very bright. There you go. Those are all the plug holes in there now. Now I'll put it on and I'll tack it along the top. I have to clean a bit up along the top there where I'm going to weld. And then I'll put this on and tack it on. Then I'll do the cut and butt along there. But first I'm going to, while it's in here, I'm going to clean this up a little bit better right there. Yeah, so now that's tacked all the way along here, and I'm going to cut it like I'll cut with the wheel, try to get it at a 45-degree angle, and then I'll cut this weld out along to here, and I'll see if I can then push that in to make it all come up even and carry on right to the end. Anyhow, that's what I'm doing. This one here I might have to do first, right? Yeah, I'll just do this one first. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's tacked every 3 inches or so, eh? There's a spot right here and right here. I got to get that little bit of work on that to get that. I'll put a dolly behind there and pound that in. And same, a couple of these spots here like that. But most of them are pretty nice. Most of them are all right. And then at the end here, they still got to do some dolly work right there. Make that happen, right? And here's the piece that came out of it. So that just slides right out, and then the new piece slides right in. So what I'm going to do before I do anything up here, I'm going to plug weld it underneath and here. That'll make it good and solid, and maybe it won't shrink so badly. We'll just see. I'm pretty sure it'll shrink anyhow. Yeah, This one didn't have any metal behind it, so it didn't get plugged, but these ones did. So they got plugged and grounded, and that did too, all the way along there. That turned out not bad. Now I'll see if I can get this, finish welding that together, and then see what happens next. Have to figure that corner out. I imagine I can. Yeah, now I'm on to the welding the slow way. Just waiting for this to cool off so I can touch it. And then I'll run another line along it. Yeah, getting close to being done. All the way up to here is done. Right there in the spot. Still pretty warm. But have a look inside here. And it looks pretty good. It looks nice penetration all the way through, and then you can see where the air holes are over at the upper part there. Anyway, we'll get it done pretty soon, then I'll quit for the day. Let me see. There's some light. So there, that's welded up. Now, hot still. Anyway, tomorrow I'll grind that off because it's quitting time now. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Well, there now. There's Buster. Start another day out here with the Hillman Super Minx and new camera. I'll just leave it at these settings for a while and just see how they are. Gonna go and do grinding on here. So let's set you up and then we'll see what we can do. Yeah, so there now. Takes a minute for it to start up because it goes to enabling low light, it says. I guess there is low light here. Anyway, I'll get this set up here in a minute. Okay. Grinder and me, right? Watch out, doggy. Yeah, it's certainly not invisible weld, but it'll be okay now. You don't want to grind it out, so like this part here, you see it's sunken in, so we'll fix that up with the filler. This part here, a little bit proud on the top and sunk at the bottom, but that will get some filler on it and that'll be okay. I'll get this little bit of yuck off there, splatter. And now, have to do this little tiny bit right here to finish that off, and then I'll go to the back here and do this. Do it around to here again, right? Okay. Okay. Here I am. Like, Buster's not very happy with me today. Anyway, this piece here, the little piece here that I just cut and stuck it in there, that was a difficult piece because it was curved and upside down and backwards and everything like that. It's curved that way and it curved that way and everything. Anyhow, it's in there, and I'll make a piece to go from here, this little area. I've got that covered in underneath here, so that outside will be done to here. Then I might tackle this part here. We'll see. Yeah, okay, so here now I've got a piece made for here. Fits reasonably well. Now I'm going to cut and butt across the top here, and first off I'll plug weld these things down here, and that'll hold it all in one spot. And then that'll be that corner done, and then I can tack that stuff. There you go. Yeah, there, I've got that tacked in there, cut and butt. Ran into a bit of trouble right there, a bit of a gap, but I guess I'll be able to fill that. And this is a new piece here. Then I'll just make that seam and I'll figure it out later. Then the next piece is that piece, but first I'll get this welded in. I did all the, what do you call them, plug welds underneath here. And then I grinded them off while I was underneath there. So now I just have to do the upper part. Whoa. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so don't you know, the only place on the whole car that I've got sort of an invisible weld, which is right here, is underneath the bumper. So nobody will ever see it. But I know it's here, and you know it's here, so that's good. Anyhow, now, while I was waiting for things to cool here, I put in a flange piece just along here. And now I'm going to cut out this piece here, delete it, because it's gone on that side and I don't need it. It's the bumper holder is here and here. This was for something else, I don't know what, but it's not, wasn't used on this car for anything. So I'll just zip that off, then I'll make a straight piece across, and that'll look pretty nice. And I'll get it plug welded on the bottom of this thing here. How's that? And then that'll be you know, back end. Look at that. But let me get this and then I'll show you the rest, right? This thing here turned out all right. Yeah, so whoops, there's another day in the Hillman world gone by. So this side here is looking pretty good, right? Right around to here. Then I welded that edge piece on, and then I've put paint on there because I forgot to put paint behind this one. Oh well, but I can reach that. I can paint it from the inside here. So that's okay. This side here looks nice. That all came out really nice. Now, and I've made pieces for the back here. And I'm going to make a seam right in the middle here. So I've cut that way to here and that way to here. And I'll seam it right in the middle here of the car and see if I can make it look fairly invisible. Anyway. And now I've painted the inside of them and got the plug holes punched into them already. So that should be going on there tomorrow. So anyhow, carry on tomorrow. See you later. Yeah, there you go. And so I've painted up all this stuff down here just to keep it from rusting, and cleaned off the paint here so I can weld to it, and same there and same there, and then cleaned off underneath there where the plug welds are going to go to, I hope. And here's my pieces, right? This one I've made a little dimple in it just for the fit on that bit of an edge right there if I can. And then it all comes together right there. So we hope that all works. We'll just start working on it and see what I can come up with. Yeah, there, that's kind of fitted on there all the way across. Nice gap at this end, nice gap in the middle, nice gap at this end here. Now I'm going to just pull this down a little bit, right like that, and then weld that so they're the same height, and then I'll clamp it here because there's a little bit of a whoop-de-doo in it underneath there, but I'll keep them all even. Then I'll do the cut and butt along here and see how that works out. Yeah, well, I wanted to get the piece out from behind there, right? That's so I cut this open again and kind of pulled back here, and then started pulling at it from this end, but it was stuck here, welded together, and here welded together. then so I undid those 2 welds and pushed it in and then whacked on it with a hammer, and finally it came free, and here it is out, and yay. So it won't be in there rattling around and rusting. Now I'll go ahead and finish. I'll weld this back up together and finish this up the slow method, right? But first I'll just get this tacked on, and then I'll lift it up and I'll do all the plug welds underneath here. Yeah. Oh, okay, there. So I got this tacked on there. I got that all the plug welds done underneath here and grinded them up, and I sort of worked on that. I haven't grounded that up yet, so I figured I'd throw some black paint in there. Look at that, it's all black, right? Because that'll get covered in eventually. Now I'll go and finish up this bit of welding along here, and that'll be the back end kind of put together. Yeah, though it's going along pretty. Whoop. I can touch this end, but I can't touch that end. So there's a little bit of a wide gap here. I'm having trouble with it blowing through, but that's just the way it is sometimes. Down here, the gap is really nice, and it just goes zip, 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 zip. Anyhow, I'm on about the 3rd round here of going along and then waiting. So I've got a few minutes to wait, and we'll just carry on from there. Yeah, so now that's all welded all the way across and down and down and down. So now I'll just start grinding. Let the grinding begin. Well, there, now that's surprising and nice. Now the elusive invisible weld, like right here, I put a weld seam in there, you can't see it, gone. And for most of this, you know, it's close to an invisible weld along here for lots of it. There's some here that's going to take some filler, but it's going to be hidden underneath the bumper. Nobody will ever see it, so you and I know about it. And it takes, I don't know, I just, like over here, I did the same method, but got all that shrinkage. And on this side over there, I didn't get any shrinkage. What I did different, though, was I put a crown on this, so it likely had a little bit of slope in and a little bit of slope out. So I don't know how to make that crown so it's just, you know, all the way, instead of like this is crowned up here, and so that's what caused that shrinkage in there, I'm sure. Anyway, but it's more than suitable for me. So I think well, this part here needs some work there. Needs a little bit of grinding here, which I'll get to. But this turned out very nice. Like like I'm happy with this, very happy. Someday I'm going to learn how to weld, hey? This side here is good. Same thing as the other side, though it shrunk in here. But, I mean, what the hell, hey? So, I'm going to cut this one off here because I think we've filled it up pretty good. Now, what have we got going on? I've got that's pretty good. Where am I? Pretty good looking back here. So, it still needs a little bit of finishing work in here, and that needs to be put on, which I will do. And then I need to do this stuff here in the door well. Like most of it's done, just the outside bit here. Then at the front, I think we're done, mostly done at the front. This can use some finessing here. I don't know what to do about that yet. Think about that. Then over here, this side I have to make this part here, and I have to make some repairs around here, but I just, you know, not the whole thing, just little bits, because it's all pretty strong through there. So I'll just make this bit down here, same as I made the other side, and with that sort of a fender there, and then that'll be and by the wheel well back there, same thing as the other door. That'll be pretty near the welding work done. Then I'll have to see if the headlights actually fit in, right? And do some body work on it. That'll come. So it's a whole car again, hey? Oh, and I have to drill this hole here. There's supposed to be a hole here so I can run a thing in to start it by a crank, hey? We'll do that one of these days. Okay, that's all for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell all your friends, and I'll see you next time. There goes a pheasant. Anyway, oh, the wind's been blowing. Blew all the snow off the pond. Ice isn't very thick, but it's getting there. And today is a cold and blustery day. And the waves are coming in at the beach. How do you like those breakers? The tide is fairly far out, so they're breaking off the far bar. Far bar, hey? How do you like that? That's your nautical terms. And the doggies on the near bar. The doggies on the beach. Anyway, there you go. It's only December 6th. Only. Oh boy.